These women stand as proof that leadership is about vision and dedication, not gender.
Our university has been known for providing huge platforms towards promoting women empowerment.
Recently, a famous UNICEF ambassador, Ms. Amala Akineni, a woman pioneer whose compassion for animals led her to start the Blue Cross Foundation in Hyderabad, was invited to Anurag University to grace the TEDx event with her inspirational insights.
We also have a dedicated girls' safety club headed by Ms. Sandhya Gade, who's a professional volleyball player in Telangana, always making sure
Team na 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 dillana dillana nadr dheem. Team na 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 dillana dillana nadr dheem. Team na 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 dillana dillana nadr dheem dheem nadr dheem nadr dheem nadr dheem. Team na 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 dillana dillana nadr dheem dheem nadr dheem nadr dheem.
Education is one of the blessings of life and one of its necessities. But things did not remain the same. Women were flogged. People were killed. And our beautiful dreams turned into nightmares. Education went from being a right to being a crime. When my world suddenly changed, my priorities changed too. I had two options. One was to remain silent and wait to be killed. And the second was to speak up and then be killed. I chose the second one. The terrorists tried to stop us, but neither their ideas nor their bullets could win. We survived, and since that day, our voices have grown louder and louder. Why is it that countries which we call strong are so powerful in creating wars, but are so weak in bringing peace? Why is it that giving guns is so easy, but giving books is so hard? Why is it that making tanks is so easy, but building schools is so hard? We are living in the modern age, and we believe that nothing is impossible.
On their bodies.
But the women were warriors. Didn't they fight back?
They did, but alas, the outsiders were too many. Some say that they brought along with them the seeds of patriarchy and sowed it in our soil and nurtured it by sacrificing our souls.
Then?
Then, then one by one, our men joined hands with the outsiders. They felt that this was the only way to survive.
And the women?
And the women lay defeated, violated. Our men, despite having joined hands with the outsiders, still felt some pity. Soon, they decided that they need to protect the women. In lieu of his protection, she would serve her Swami, the owner. That was moment it all changed. Without a husband, she was nothing, left unprotected over the ravages of the world.
And then, Nanamma?
Then one night, one of our men was attacked by the wild animal and he died. That night is still so vivid. The fire, the cries. Still tear my heart apart. They burnt her alive, my boy. They burnt her. Anyways, soon our community started growing and food was scarce. Men started marrying their young daughters, for they had no money to feed her. The men even turned ours, took advantage of the helplessness of parents and demanded huge sum of money as dowry. Penniless, either the parents hanged themselves or they killed their daughters. How can people kill babies? I still wonder.
How, Nanamma? How?
A few years later, there was another war. They say it was big war, bigger than one could ever imagine. All the men had left away to serve in the war, leaving the home and the lesser world. Started hurting women back into the four walls. They resisted, they failed. The war had drained country's economy. Men were increasingly finding it difficult to bear all the expenses, unable to bear for their family. The men started denying women's food, calling them leeches, parasites, living off the men's earnings. The men started sending women to the work. Once again, the woman felt that she was free. But every time she came back home, she was beaten. Her success was attributed to her promiscuity. She would work, but the money would be his. This illusion, the women realized that the freedom would be theirs only if they had fight for it, like the olden days.
Oh, hi. Do you need any help?
No, I can manage it. It's okay, baby. We can manage it all. Mama is there for you now. I'll take care of everything. But first, let me find I need to find a job. I heard there is a posting in radio jockey.
Why are you late? Where have you been?
I'm a working woman. Of course, it takes time when I come home.
Don't talk all that rubbish. Give me the money.
No, I'm not gonna give you the money. It's my money. I earn it.
See, you do whatever you want. Just get me some food. I'm hungry.
All you do is drunk and play games and play gambling, and you waste money on it. I don't think you can do it anymore.
What are you going to do, huh?
I'll just take the kid and get away. We
go.
can't
Go
see
do
you
your
all
thing.
the time. Get lost.
Hello, beta. How are you? Your husband just died. What will you do there alone? Just come back home.
Mom, what do you mean I should come back home? All this time I have been taking care of my family and my husband. Now this is the time I should care for myself. And you said that a widow cannot marry again. But if a widower can marry again, so can I. So if I find my soulmate, I'm going to marry him.
Congratulations. You've been promoted as a senior manager.
Thank you, sir. But I would like to deny it.
Why would you do that?
Because I want to have my own company.
Your own company.
Yes, sir.
Your own.
Yes, sir.
Why?
Don't worry, sir. Someday maybe I'll be in a place where I can offer you something.
Well, even if you don't get to that job, come to me. I'll provide you a job.
No, sir.
You didn't recognize the voice? This is the same voice that people heard, narrating stories on All India Radio to the story which has been told today. Indeed, my journey was long and tiring, but it as fruitful as it could be.
But where is Mapa?
Your mother and father both are IPS officers, my dear. They fight crimes day and night. You and me are going to fight patriarchy so that all could be equal once more.
This is not a story. This is reality.
Women have faced countless struggles. Women harassment, dowry harassment, honor killings, domestic violence, and workplace discrimination. But we are not weak, we are not silent, and we will not stop.
This is not just a story. This is the truth of every woman.
Enough is enough.
Stop judging her. Let her make her own decisions. Let her grow.
I'm a CEO.
I'm a radio jockey.
I'm a diplomat.
I am a policy maker.
I'm a doctor.
I'm a fashion designer.
I'm an engineer.
We will fight, we will win. Justice for every woman.
Freedom for all. The time for change is now. A big round of applause to all our actors from Literacy Society. I'd like to call Manikanta, Archa, Vaishnavi, Abhijit, Jashwant, Rohan, Tanvi, Dheeraj, Prince, Bhargav, Zoran, Nayana, Shatishka, Srija, and Samhita. I thank all of you guys here, our respected panelists and our everyone here. Thank you for listening out to this skit. This was performed by Literacy Society. First of all, I'd like to thank Women Welfare Committee of AU for giving us this amazing opportunity to perform this skit. Every year we try to do something unique, try to portray something unique which every woman has faced in a very different way. So this was a small attempt for us. The script was written by Dr. Chandraboli ma'am and always supported by Dr. Lakshmirana ma'am, our faculty advisor at Literacy Society. I thank all for, again, thank you all.
That was an amazing skit. They showed us how women not only survived, but grew and now stand strong in an alleged man's world. Let us give a big round of applause to the Literacy Society. I am Moksha Dova, and it is my pleasure to introduce to all of you Ms. Ankita Tuteja, moderator for the panel discussion. With a distinguished career in global higher education and international partnerships, Ankita Tuteja is a dynamic leader driving transitional education across and cross-border collaborations. As the director of the Office of Global Affairs at Anurag University, she is the forefront of expanding international outreach, forging strategic university alliances, and enhancing global learning experiences. Ms. Ankita's expertise spans international student recruitment, institutional collaborations, global mobility programs, playing a pivotal role in shaping dual degree programs, faculty exchanges, and research partnerships with top universities worldwide. Committed to bridging Indian academia with the global education ecosystems, she is dedicated to ensuring world-class opportunities and to students and faculty. Today, she brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to this platform as our moderator, guiding an insightful discussion on the motion, Accelerate Action to Shape Tomorrow. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Ankita Tuteja. Thank you, ma'am. I would like to now hand over the session to you.
Thank you so much for the introduction. Good afternoon to all of you. Of course, there are days when I struggle with the idea of dedicating just one day to celebrate the genius, resilience, and inventiveness of women, or any other particular community for that matter. But I also believe that International Women's Day is not just about celebration. It's an extra opportunity, one of 365, to amplify achievements, to call out inequality, and to push for real measurable change. And today, we are doing exactly that. We are joined by three exceptional leaders from the world of defense, STEM, and business. These fields haven't always been seen as women-friendly, but that perception is shifting. Not fast enough, but it is shifting. And the women with us today are not just the part of that change, they are driving it. The transformation is happening not by chance, but because of the bold leadership of the women like them. Each of these leaders exemplifies the spirit of accelerate action through their relentless pursuit of excellence and their transformative impact in their respective fields. The journey inspires us to challenge the status quo and to drive the meaningful change. They are breaking down barriers, redefining leadership, and ensuring that progress is not just a moment, it's a movement. So before we dive into the conversation, allow me to welcome the esteemed panel to the stage. Breaking Barriers in Missile Technology, the inspiring journey of Ms. Sheena Rani, Program Director of Agni and Associate Director at the Advanced System Laboratory, DRDO. She's a distinguished scientist and a trailblazer in India's missile technology landscape. With expertise in embedded system design, she has been driving force behind the mechanical and electrical integration of Agni missile series and the development of advanced launch control system. Her journey is one of perseverance, grit, and scientific excellence. Over the last 2 decades, she's made significant contributions to the design, development, and delivery of launch control systems and real-time software with novel faulty-tolerant schemes for Agni missiles. Her leadership and technical acumen played a pivotal role in India's recent test of Agni 5, further strengthening nation's defense capabilities. Before joining DRDO, Ms. Sheena Rani contributed to India's space missions at Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, ISRO. Her remarkable achievements have earned her prestigious accolades, including the DRDO Scientist of the Year Award, the Path-Breaking Research Outstanding Technology Development Award, and the PMA National Award for Women Project Leader of the Year 2024. Recognized as India's Missile Rani, the Divya Putri, her contributions have left an indelible mark on country's defense technology. An inspiring figure in STEM, she continues to pave the way for women scientists, proving that determination and expertise can break barriers even in the most challenging fields. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sheena Rani. Thank you so much for joining us today, ma'am. Moving on to our next panelist, allow me to introduce an industry leader driving excellence in advanced materials and MSME leadership, Ms. Saritha Chilakapati. With over 2 decades of expertise spanning finance, strategy, innovation, Ms. Saritha stands at the forefront of India's advanced materials industry. As the CFO and whole-time director of Innomat Advanced Materials Limited, she has been instrumental in driving financial strategy, compliance, and business expansion in the metal, powder, and tungent heavy alloy manufacturing sector. Her visionary leadership extends beyond corporate success. In April 2020, she was honored among the 100 successful women entrepreneurs in MSME by the ministry. Further, in June 2024, she received recognition from the FICCI FLO Hyderabad chapter for manufacturing excellence. A strong advocate of entrepreneurship, Ms. Saritha has mentored many women entrepreneurs, contributed to innovation, incubation at St. Anne's College for Women, and actively shaped MSME policies as the co-convener of the CII Telangana State MSME panel. Most recently, she led Innomat's IPO in September 2024, which was a whooping success and was oversubscribed by 283 times, reflecting her strategic foresight and business acumen. As she continues to expand into new applications and geography, Saritha remains a trailblazer, setting new benchmarks in manufacturing excellence and MSME advocacy. Let's give a huge round of applause as we invite Ms. Saritha to the stage. Next on the panel is someone I personally admire and have the privilege of learning from first hand, Dr. Archana Mantri, Vice Chancellor, Anurag University. With over 3 decades of extensive experience spanning both industry and academia, she is a distinguished thought leader and enabler who has spearheaded numerous initiatives in research, innovation, and entrepreneurship. As electronics engineer by training and an educationist by profession, Dr. Mantri's research focuses on augmented and virtual reality, their pedagogical applications for enhanced learning outcome. Dr. Mantri has been at the forefront of shaping education policy and global academic discourse. In 2021, she was a part of a 14-member committee constituted by AICTE to draft key recommendations for the implementation of national education policy. Recognizing her expertise, she was later nominated in Jan 2023 to be a 5-member North Zone committee constituted by UGC tasked with driving the implementation of NEP at a broader scale. Beyond national policy making, Dr. Mantri actively contributes to global education forums, serving on panels for prestigious organizations like Indo-Universal Collaboration for Engineering Education and the Global Engineering Deans Council. Her contributions to academia leadership in engineering education have earned her global recognition. Her journey is featured among top 30 leading women engineers worldwide in the book Rising to the Top. A passionate reader of Indian mythology and philosophy, Dr. Mantri is a strong advocate of India's rich value system, embodying its principles in both her personal and professional life. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Mantri to the stage. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm thrilled that I am among these incredible women today, and we'll be discussing some key issues, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of takeaways for all of us. To begin with, I'd like to ask each of you, what does International Women's Day mean to you? And how do you, as women in leadership, turn this day into a real catalyst for action and lasting change? We can start.
Very good afternoon to everybody, and I thank Anurag University and the team for inviting me on this occasion. Coming to my understanding of this special day of International Women's Day, I think it is a celebration of whatever we have contributed to over the years. And if we were to look back probably 20 years ago, I don't think we had a specific day which was celebrated. It was like any other day, but I think it gained focus probably about a decade ago, correct me if I'm wrong, but at the same time, we had to do this because that is only when we will know that who have actually contributed in this space. And there are so many people who are in this, so many women in this country or everywhere who have actually contributed significantly. But if you were to compare it with men, I think we don't have that recognition. So that is one thing. And one more thing is, I think we are like a torch bearer, we actually pave a path. So the leaders have to take the brunt, so we have taken some of the brunts, and we want the youngsters to learn from it and not make the same mistakes. So it is encouraging more women, not just coming into the workspace, but also I think in leading a better life from what our probably our ancestors or our parents led. So that is how I would put this special day in that criteria.
Beautiful. Celebrating the accomplishments. Nothing like it. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me warm greetings to all on the occasion of International Women's Day. I am proud to be part of this University attending this function. And coming to the Women's Day celebration, actually it is a celebration. It is a celebration of womanhood. We are able to reach, I mean, whatever we are able to achieve, and we come and share it with you, our experiences, so that you people will get motivated and see that you will also be able to reach like us, that whatever heights we have scaled, same way there are opportunities, plenty of opportunities for you, all of you. But to overcome all the challenges and move ahead and reach a pinnacle is a very tough task. So if we are able to do it, you can also do it. Anybody can do it, that is all. Only you should have the proper attitude, the mentality, the dedication to take up all the challenges and move ahead. So we have to celebrate the Women's Day till we will be able to see an equal share of men and women. The gender bias should not be there anymore. But still, if we see now also it is continuing. We can see the number of, even though the percentage, if you see with reference to education or whoever is attending the colleges, universities, we see 50%. But finally, when we see in the further thing where people are taking up career and moving ahead, we see lot of dropouts. We see very few who are reaching the pinnacles. So what is happening? What is that is causing them to drop out? So when we go out and tell the crowd, tell the community that we are able to do it. We have gone through, it is not an easy task. We have gone through several challenges to move ahead and overcome so many things. So many obstacles were there, especially in our time that even now generations are changing and the society beliefs all are changing. But when we were starting the career, with that time we had to face so much of obstructions were there, but still we have moved ahead. So if we are able to do it, people should be moved ahead. We will be able to move ahead. With that, to instill that confidence, we have to celebrate the Women's Day and see that more and more people are getting motivated and will be able to take up the career. And main thing is you should be able to stay strong. That is what I feel as a message to all the women, that you have so much of inner strength in you, which you have to identify. We never knew when we started the career. We were also having that self-doubt and whether we'll be able to continue or no. But when we started doing and proceeding further, we could feel that we are able to move ahead itself. Same thing I want to see in all of you. I should see that same amount of people who are now there in the university, I should see them in the career front also. You should be there in the top. That is what I am looking forward. As a Women's Day celebration, some motivation should be there, so that you people should be getting the confidence that you can also achieve what we have achieved. All of us who are sitting here, that should be seen as a motivation for you. Let us move ahead and see that you people achieve greater heights, and all the best wishes for that. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we've moved from celebrations to a source of inspiration. Dr. Mantri?
Honestly speaking, till, as Saritha ma'am also pointed out, till a few years back, I couldn't relate to why International Women's Day, why Father's Day, why Daughter's Day, because traditionally we come from a society where every day the women in our lives are celebrated, whether it is in form of mothers, sisters, daughters, whatever. And also, but then these, as you go out in the world and meet people, these discrepancies, these uncommonalities and inequality within various genders come into fore. And hence, the days like International Women's Day, or for that matter, any other day, has its own importance. And I think the other two, my co-panelists have already highlighted. It's a celebration. It's also to draw. These are the moments when we can draw our own sources of inspiration from the women that we dream about, that we will be like one of them one day. And also this message, or these days also remind the other genders present in the society to see women as equal. I think that is the importance of International Women's Day.
The dreams and aspirations to become big, that's what you draw. Thank you so much. Leadership is often about navigating challenges, overcoming biases, and seizing defining moments that shape not just our own paths, but also of future generations. My next question is to you, Ms. Sheena Rani. In a high-stakes, male-dominated field, Pushing boundaries is inevitable. What was a defining moment when you broke through and changed the game, not just for yourself, but for those who follow?
Actually, when I selected this electronic stream itself as a career option, there itself, when in our times the number of students seeking that career, that channel itself, well, engineering stream itself were very limited. And if you see in my college, there were only 10 seats for, total 60 seats means 10 students were only ladies, girls. Remaining all was a male dominated thing. So if you see there itself, I started my journey of breaking into the male dominated area. Then afterwards, when I took up the job, there also I was seeing the percentage of women, especially the not only working level, especially the leaders were very countable numbers. If you see, I have to see if some division head or some group director, there were not many at all. I cannot even, I joined ISRO. So there at that time, the number of women were very countable type itself. So when we started getting into that activity, and then, but at least when I joined, there were few ladies were there. So that crowd was little better compared to my college experience, I'll tell, compared to my classes. Then afterwards, when I entered into when we start growing in the career, then when we start becoming head and leading the people, then we find again there the number of ladies we have to lead are very, subordinates wise, they are very minor numbers, and the maximum will be with the gents only. And handling them as a woman, that was one of the challenges, and they have to accept us. So what I have learned is, don't be too bossy. You be at their level. Try to connect with them. So if you don't treat as if you are a big leader, you try to show off or do something, try to demand the work from them. The way you approach them, that makes a lot of difference. And when I was assigned in this, I was doing this launch control systems, and that was also like a male-dominated area, and mainly software portion and all were given to ladies, women. Some girls used to work on that, but I was given the task of controlling the total launch. That was a totally male-dominated area. So handling such a situation, such a big article, big system, you have to control the total, take dynamic decisions, which may be very painful decisions also. Sometimes we have to abort, or sometimes we have to go ahead with the decisions, whether we can go ahead. It was a very, very, very challenging job was that for me. And for a lady, handling that might have been beyond the dreams of most of the people, I think. Nobody would have imagined that a lady can handle this thing. Doubts would have been there. But the way I could handle that, I think I got lot of appreciation, and then they realized a woman also can do all these type of challenging tasks also. That is what, when people started recognizing me. The routine jobs, if you do and you start moving ahead, you will not be getting that much of thing. You should be able to prove yourself that you are able to go, you should be able to move out of your comfort zone and take up challenging tasks, whatever is assigned to you, and then move ahead and show that you are capable of doing it. And every time it will not be that you are going through a good thing, everything you can take up smoothly or something. There will be difficulties will be there. You depend on your seniors or who are there to guide you, or experts are available to whom we can share our things, get the thing. Always you be open for ideas and all. That is what I have learned, and entering into that field and proving myself in that field, and later on coming as a project director, then becoming a program director, people have believed in me that I am capable of taking all these things. So that is how I have slowly broken all the barriers and entered into this much of, I think, height I could achieve. Thank you.
Beautiful, ma'am. Talking about the defining moments, I come to you, Ms. Saritha. Risk and bold moves define leadership, especially with you being CFO and an entrepreneur. What's one decision you made, not because it was safe, but because it was necessary, that completely reshaped your business and its future?
I've taken many bold decisions when it came to company, but one thing that I can strongly advocate I'll tell that at the end, but I think I can relate to what Ms. Sheena has actually mentioned, that it's not easy to work in a male environment, and especially in a technical related field, because I also have an engineering background. I work with engineers, but I'm not an engineer. I'm a finance person, I'm purely a commerce person. And of course, I think it's not easy for them to accept, first thing as women, and second thing is that you understand technical knowledge. I still feel that gap is still there. They feel that this has to be shared only with the men or the youngsters who are boys rather than a girl. I can see that even in my industry also. I try to break that barrier. At the same time, one big advantage I had was I'm the co-founder. So at least people can reach out to me. I'm very much acceptable, and in fact every team, every person is very comfortable with me, be it at the top level to the entry level also. So that's where I think the acceptance of me was very comfortable. I think I call myself fortunate that way. But coming to the question that you had mentioned, one thing that I was firm on was I'm actually, as I mentioned, that I'm a finance person and purely a compliance person. So my background is in MBA finance. So I always wanted to work in that space. I was very firm on that, even though I knew that 20 years ago, if I were to do a job, I would rather earn much more on that day than what I was earning then. I'm being very frank about it. But believe me, I wanted to always be in the space of finance. At the same time, I always wanted to run my own business. What come may say, even if it were just 1 or 2% also. So I grew from that level. So one thing that I was very firm on is ensure your compliance are always met. The statutory compliance are always met. And not just met, you have to understand your compliances. If you don't understand and just go for the heck of the rule book and all, it's not that. So I think, and I was very firm on following that, which I do that even now. And that actually took a company to this level. Almost like 25 years later, if I look back, that was the baby step and the decision that I took, that yes, we will not deviate anywhere, we'll follow it, what come may say. So we have to face it, we'll face it. So now I can proudly say that in the past couple of years, at least almost a decade, we don't have any orders from GST or income tax or any departments, because they know our company so much that there's nothing to audit here. So that's one decision I firmly did it about 25 years ago. Yes, it's been a bold move.
You have certainly built a very strong foundation, ma'am. Good to know that. Being a leader in education, Dr. Mantri, and in the academic leadership, change is constant, but barriers still exist. What's one moment when you refused to let the system define your limits? How did you turn that challenge into a breakthrough for others?
There were many such moments, and the hard thing is you are asking me to describe one such moment. But I would still take chance and describe two of them. One of them, when I was not in the education administration, I had just graduated and joined an optical fiber company, and we were making an optical line terminal equipment for Indian military. So, and then, like so far as it was office job, we were designing the equipment and we were lab testing it, everything was good. But then it came that it has to be field tested. And the field testing was to happen at Delhi in 21 signals. And Indian military base doesn't have at that time any women. And then since I was leading my team of design and we built that equipment, my manager came in and said that now is the time for field trials, but okay, we will make a team and send it for field trials. I said okay. And when the list came in, my name was not there. Simply because I am a woman, and they simply assumed that she should not go, or if they offer, I will not go. And then I questioned why my name is not there, and said, it is an outstation job, it's a field job, and you have to be staying there for 3 weeks at least, and maybe it will be repetitive, and there will be no environment to host you. But I said, I have designed the team, designed the system, this is my team, I have to go. And then there were like, kind of, you know what, but then it's okay. Then I made it a point, and then I went. I went there, and I think I had shared it on other platform also. As it would have it, all the army men there who were part of the field trial, they were zapped to see a woman. They were not equipped to handle a woman. you know, to come and stay there for 21 days and so on. Anyways, we went on to the field trials and all that, but it turned out that in the field they used to erect makeshift toilets for men, but there was none for women because they were not equipped to handle. So, you know, for those 21 days, I used to just drink 1 glass of water in the morning, go to the loo, and then spend the whole day at the field because I knew that there was no facility, and come back at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., you know, and so on. So it happened. So that's one moment where I decided, no, I have to do it. Let the system not define me. And when I was leaving, it was so kind of those people. They asked for my feedback, and then I said, this is something that you need to be, and they were like, so I can use the term ashamed for not knowing or not realizing that this is the need of somebody. And then from that day onwards, I mean, all the facilities, whether a woman will come as a team, as a part of the team or not, they made it a point that it has to happen. So that was one moment when the barrier was broken. But I always make it a point that ask for support. Ask for what you deserve for. Sometimes people don't realize it's out of ignorance. You cannot blame them. I mean, I cannot blame those people for not realizing that there will be a woman. And then I also realized that had I asked for it in the first week itself, probably they would have done it, you know, in the next 2 weeks. But I didn't, out of, I mean, I don't know what, but something kept me. So those are the things which are lessons to be learned for women sitting out there, and also men and other gender who are sitting here, to realize that there could be a particular requirement for women in a workplace. The second one is when I just started to teach in an engineering college, and it was a government engineering college. I was kind of very young, and most of the students were like very, you know, they were like, at least if not in age, they were in look-wise, they were very rowdy and other stuff. So my peers said that you don't go and join this college now. You will never be allowed to teach. They will not let you. And then I said, I thought, and then I discussed it with my parents once, and then said, if the system is going to define you, you will never be able to define yourself. Don't suppress yourself because somebody is anticipating that. Go ahead, face it. If you can't, it's a different matter, but face it. And then I went, and then sort of the rest is history. I mean, I can put on many, many more things beyond that, but these are, since your question is pointed to what are those moments where I didn't let the system define me. But I took some bold decisions, and yeah, here I am.
Absolutely amazing. That really deserves a huge round of applause. Leadership is often portrayed as inspiring and empowering, but behind the success story lies challenges that are rarely discussed. These are lessons that only experience can teach, and those insights can be invaluable for aspiring leaders. Keeping that in mind, I would like to ask all of you, what was one hard truth about leadership that no one tells you, but every woman needs to hear? Saritha ma'am.
I think leadership is common for men and women. I don't think we can, bar a different line together, but I think it's taking ownership of anything that we do and then succeeding it. So, and that requires a lot of perseverance, a longer vision, and taking things under your control. And not just that, you should have an understanding of your existing team and where you're heading to. You should have a vision for that and a plan for that, and everything should align with that. So in most of my thought process, I would always look at a problem as a macro level problem and a micro level problem, because unless these two are integrated, I don't think we'll be able to achieve our goal. So that is what I would call a leader, where you look at the both sides of it, handle both of them well, and take ownership of whatever happens. Sometimes bad can happen, like most of us have gone through all that, but you take ownership of that and then ensure that it is not repeated. That is the most important thing. Unfortunately, what happens is we tend to make a mistake and it doesn't penetrate to the lower level. But if the correction is done, I think it's a big learning for the entire unit or the enterprise as such.
Absolutely. Learning from our mistakes is very important. What about you, Sheena ma'am?
As such, what I feel is, as a leader, there is no leadership lessons taught to us. If you see, whatever it is learned is based on experience only, and what we observe also in our mentors who are there, who are the seniors there. We observe them and how they handle the situations. That is how I have learned. I have not attended any management course or anything. It has all come with experience dealing with the people and all. I think out of all the things, what I find is people management is the most challenging, what I feel. There is no lessons for that, or there is no written things, books are there. Whatever you read through, that will have a different aspect, and when you deal with the reality, that will be a different thing. So that is where if you are able to achieve success in that field, guaranteed that you will be a very good manager, and people will be ready to work for you. They will be ready to contribute whatever you are intending them to do, it will be done. That is what I feel. Thank you.
Dr. Mantri.
Your question was, what is that one hard truth that every woman leader needs to know, but is never told?
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah. So every woman leader should know, probably it is not never told, or they themselves don't want to realize that support system is crucial to become a woman leader. And ask for that support. Don't hesitate in asking that support. You need that support because women are into multiple roles, whether you like it or not. You, by default, by biologically, by the way you are made, you have to take multiple roles. But still, if you want to, and leadership is not only at workplace, you can also be a leader at your home. So, but all these leadership positions, wherever you are, it asks for support. And the hard truth is, you need support, and the fact is, the advice is, ask for that support.
Absolutely, it's very, very important to have that support system. Despite the progress made in recent years, women in STEM, business and leadership continue to navigate systemic challenges, deep-rooted biases and structural barriers. From breaking into traditionally male-dominated industries to overcoming self-doubt and outdated mindsets, the journey to leadership is rarely a straight path. Ms. Saritha, through your work with FICCI, FLO, and CII, you've mentored many women entrepreneurs. What common struggles do they face? How do you guide them in overcoming it?
I've been mentoring for over 7 or 8 years, and it's not just limited to the Telugu states, but all across India as well, because FICCI FLO has this facility where at the national level we tend to mentor other women as well. One fine thing that I can notice is the girls who are just fresh out of college feel owning a business is an easier thing, which is not true. Because they all come up with a fancy idea when you don't get a job that we'll start up this thing and get into that. That's nice. But the thing is, pursuing it and sticking on to it and improving it, that kind of a thought process is not happening. Their thought process is limited to, how do I start this? And then probably maintain it for a month, 2, 3, or maybe 6 months. But business is a journey which will last for a lifetime. So when, new challenges crop up, that is when, I see most of them step back. So I would really recommend, or anybody who's getting into entrepreneurship should have a longer vision and stick to that business, because it is not just a temporary thing that, you buy some clothes and you discard it. It's not that kind of a thing. So I would, I've come across many of them. I've actually mentored a couple of professionals as well. Professionals are different, at least because, they can actually, contribute in some way or the other where they can earn some money. But when it comes to entrepreneurship, you start with your savings, or you take a loan and then you're stuck and then you give up and you actually service the debt for a long period of time. But before getting into that, have a holistic approach of what business is. I think that kind of sessions have to be conducted, and I think Wikiflow and CII, and of course our Telangana state also has been doing that. So first have the mindset that entrepreneurs means challenges, and be ready to accept challenges, and then get into that.
Conscious effort and determination, absolutely. Yeah. Dr. Mantri, we often discuss the need to encourage more women in STEM, yet it remains challenged in 2025. What's one outdated mindset that you think is slowing down the progress?
I think the skit showed it all. the skit, whatever the students did. I mean, it's the same old kind of feeling sometimes and floating around in one odd relative, extended family that, oh no, this is not for you, you cannot do this. So undermining women's power, that they can do multiple things at a time, is something that deters a woman's journey to the top. And I said, I always mean that a woman's journey to the top, to the leadership, is not always at the workplace. It is anywhere that they are contributing, be it home, at a workplace, be an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, anywhere it could be. So when the men or the other people try to look at this is not possible because she's a woman, that's one outdated mindset that the people carry in the society. And it's still prevalent, no matter what centuries have gone by, but it has reduced maybe to an extent. Only a very conducive survey can tell us, but then we notice it around us, that this is what it is. But my big shout out to all those women who, despite of all this, do what they want to do, make their choices, break the barriers. A very bold salute to them. Also, request, almost I would say a mandate, a directive to all others who think that women cannot do, please shut up. It's possible.
Yes,
it's
we
possible.
can do it.
We can do it. Definitely it's possible.
Well, for them, I can say they have done it and they're still doing it. Ms. Sheena, women in STEM frequently battle with self-doubt, imposter syndrome. What are those key techniques? How can they overcome it? And especially when they work in male-dominated fields. What is your advice?
As such, when you enter a career itself, we will have a self-doubt. Because people like me who came from a very middle-class family with not much exposure, and as an introvert, facing that situations and that environment itself was a very challenging one, and getting adapted to that culture also. Then how did I overcome all these things? One is you should have self-belief. Believe in yourself. You should have the confidence that you should be able to take up whatever is there. But initially you will be feeling a little jittery. There will be some effort required from your side also to see that you are able to adapt easily to that environment and the requirements, whatever is there. Then you always have the support people. That is, your seniors will be there, some experts will be there, your own teammates will be there. You can have a good environment, make a good environment so that you can share your things, get out of that feelings of whatever doubts are there. And especially when I was given I was asked whether can you take over as this division head. First thing I thought, whether will I be able to do it? Will I be able to, because it's a very demanding job, no? To match, I have to take care of the family also, children are small, then taking that, especially this work was also very challenging work, where we have to spend more time also, we have to devote more time. So first thing we'll feel is, okay, no, we'll tell like that. Somehow I got the courage, no sir, I will try, okay, that is what I told. With what courage I told, I don't know even now also. But once I got into that, I was feeling I am able to do it. That is what I told. We are not realizing our power. As a women, no, I think God has gifted us so much. I think we are a multitasking capability is given to us. So handling office and home is not a difficult task at all. That is what I realized. That whatever fear or doubts I had, I felt it was not necessary at all. I am able to do it. I could manage. Only thing there we have to prioritize, take some dynamic decisions. All this will come with experience. You don't look for an immediate solution. Solutions will keep on coming. That is what I have learned. Thank you.
Beautiful. So self-doubt is going to be there, but let it not consume you. Let it work through you. So, Dr. Mantri, leading a university comes with immense pressure. How do you stay resilient and keep pushing for change? What's your daily mantra?
Madam has already told, I believe in myself, I love myself, and the only mantra, my starting day always is with, yes, I can do it. And if I find a hurdle, I have been repeatedly saying is I ask for support. If I think that within the given circumstances it is not possible, what I am aiming for, I will ask for support, whether it is family or my colleagues or my seniors or my, the people who are working with me in my team, I ask for support. That look here, this is what I aspire for and I believe that it can be done, but can you support me? Can you do this for me? And yeah, this is how it works. This is the mantra. Alone, you cannot do all the work in this world. You need support. But you should be humble enough. However, you should also portray that you believe. If you do, the universe is a reflection of you. If I keep doubting myself, my people will also doubt me. But if I think that it is possible, the universe will also make things possible and they will put circumstances in place and people in place. Somehow I have umpteen circumstances in my life wherein I think, oh my God, how will this be possible? I know that it can be done, but how will this? And suddenly 2 people from somewhere, God will send them. Because I have believed the universe will send them, or will prepare circumstances that it can happen, that it will happen. So I am a firm believer of that your surroundings are a reflection of yourself. If you love yourself, people will love you. If you believe in yourself, people will believe in you. If you doubt yourself, people will start doubting. And then how can you ask for support? So I think that's mantra.
Absolutely beautiful, ma'am. With your too much involvement at work and this high-stake projects that you do, how do you manage your life at home with pressure at work? What is your mantra there?
One thing is there is no laid down rules or anything. No textbook is there to teach us how to live our life.
I think her smile is the mantra. She keeps smiling all through all the conversation and people get pulled to her.
No, I have people working with me who come to me and tell, Madam, I am not getting sleep, so much of stress, too much of work. Same question they also ask, how are you able to continue like this?
Please tell us today, how are you doing it?
One thing is, don't take the office work to home. That is one clear picture. You drop whatever is there. Once you enter your compound tower, you should not carry the load with you. You should forget. Next thing is, you should have a me time. I need some time for myself, which I should be able to do something which I enjoy. That is where I try to relax. Actually, earlier, I am a very, not an early riser. So, evenings I used to find some time to go for a walk. So, that is the time in that open area. I think I feel all my stresses getting relieved and I get a feeling of that lightness. Once I complete one walk, everything, whatever happened, the full day will get erased totally. And it is not that I have completely erased the work totally, but sometimes in that time, when you are relaxed time, no, you get some hints for whatever problems or challenges we have just faced. We get some good hints. That's what, I don't know how it happens, but it comes and really that helps me in the next day. I'm able to find some solution for whatever has been pestering me for some time. I'll get a instant solution also. So that is what, you keep your mind relaxed, and little bit of meditation also based on, because I like to do that, but whenever I get time only. The problem for me is I find it very difficult to get the time for myself. So whenever possible, I try to find some time and see that I am able to relax myself. That's all. Thank you.
Very important. Me time is very, very important. Moving on to you, Ms. Saritha. What was one moment where you felt like, I have to give up, but you didn't? What made you move forward and not give up?
Being in business, I think there are several instances.
Absolutely.
Not one, I think there'll be so many. I think I can relate to one instant where we got a government order. Nothing specifically pointing out, but yeah. So that was an arduous thing, and literally I felt, where are we heading, and what is happening? Because we couldn't understand the entire scenario. Like I was mentioning, the micro and macro level, probably I was only able to understand the micro level. But the macro level, there was something behind that which none of us could relate over a period of 2 to 3 years. And that was a point where I think we would have literally been collapsed also. So I think that was, all of us were in a state where it's a given up stage. But I think the confidence in us made us move forward. The same thing I can relate it to the recent IPO also. I was working on it for a very, very long period, and I think we stretched the limits of our endurance levels. And what we thought will take about a couple of months took over a 1.5 year, close to 1.5 years. And it's to do with a lot of compliances and a couple of documentations, which was something which I've never dealt with before. And a very small incident where, it was the thing that I actually work with a couple of chartered accountants and a couple of CS, company secretaries, all the while, especially after, getting into the IPO space. So literally, close to a dozen is what I work with them. So it was the problem with one CA, which actually was extending our problem. And I was like, I know the problem, but I know the solution, but I'm not able to handle that. So that was when I felt, am I capable, or, I had my own self-doubt. But again, I think, as you said, the day has to pass. So I think it took a week or 10 days, and then we had to come back with our own agenda and revive the whole thing and do it. So there are a couple of instances, but every time it is the resilience that says that, yes, I think when it aligns with our vision and all, and we're in the right path, I think what we're doing is good.
Absolutely. I think the willpower is very, very important. I was going through your TED talk, and I was mentioning this to you earlier as well, and you mentioned your mother and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam as your inspiration. What message from your life can you share with the audience today about your learnings from your mother and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam? What resonates so much with you?
I think what I have learned from my mother is perseverance, because she had to struggle a lot even for her completing her education also. Still she could complete her diploma, because financially they were in a very bad shape. So still she had the willpower to complete it. Somehow she managed, and she could get a government job also during that period. So she is always my motivation. And I have seen her struggle through the life also, but never give up. So that is also one thing I have learned. And her message to us both, we are two sisters, both of us are, you should stand on your own feet, and first you do that. Then you will automatically get the confidence in yourself. You will be able to face the challenges if you are able to do that. So that is why both my parents have given so much of importance to education. That is one thing. I think now at least we are seeing so many people are being allowed to enter into colleges, and at least girl students have started coming. In the earlier times and all, it was not so easy. To have a parent to encourage us to go ahead with the education and finish, and this was really I think I was very fortunate that way. Otherwise, what I have seen is they were somehow trying to get them married off. That was the way, that was the type of mentality at that time. So that way I have really gained, my mother is my very role model for me. And I have seen her in service also, the way she was dedicated to the work. how she was doing and how she was managing both house as well as work also. All this is what it has helped me also to achieve whatever in my career also, how I could move forward. Coming to sir, I think Abdul Kalam sir, I was very unfortunate that I could not work with sir, because sir was there in VSSC as well as sir was there in DRDO. So by the time I joined VSSC, sir had joined DRDO, and by the time I joined DRDO, sir has gone he has gone to the higher posts. So, but so many messages, so many quotes are there, and I was fortunate to listen to some of his speeches. So mainly one thing what I have learned from is that failures, you should never take failures as a negative thing. You should see that as a positive thing. Take it as a challenge which is put in front of you, because if a system works on its own, nobody bothers much about that. But once something fails, you try to dig it deep into that system. You learn a lot from that once there is a failure. Otherwise, you are not getting in. Even though whatever you do, design everything, you assume some things and move ahead. But once a failure happens, it shatters everything, all the whatever assumptions were there, and then you have to break it into pieces and find out what is that has happened. So I think that is one thing I think, and I can tell strongly that I have learned a lot from more failures than from successes. Many lessons I have learned, and that has helped me build a foundation for me for future things or whatever technologies we are taking up further also. And I think sir has I don't know, we have so many things to learn. I cannot tell anything, because everything from that simplicity, that humbleness, the way he treats, I used to hear from our people also who have interacted with him. He used to just go for a walk even in the evening, even to a helper or anybody, the way he asks, he talks to them, you will not feel that he is such a big boss or anything. That is what another thing I think we should all mimic. Whatever role you go up in the careers, you take up so much of power you are having or anything, nothing matters. The way, if you are able to deal at a humanity, concepts are considered when you are dealing with the people, that really, it is like a real medicine, I will tell, to get the things and interact with the people and maintain the relations. That is also, I think, one thing I think we should, that simplicity is what I really respect him for, and really nothing much. I cannot talk much about sir. It is beyond my level itself. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Humbleness and humility takes us a very long way. Dr. Mantri, if you could redesign education today to empower women, what would be your first move?
Bring in more examples from women leaders, whether it is at the primary education level or at secondary or at higher education leaders. We must bring in more examples, more cases so that everybody gets inspired by those stories. The way traditionally we have grown up is whenever there is a professional being quoted, it is always with a he. There's never a she.
The history of war stories.
Yes, everything. I mean,
men.
everywhere it's all, the heroes are the men. So we should bring in more inspiring stories from women. In fact, equal number of stories, I would say. Not that undermining the other genders. They are very, very important. And together we all create a very good social support system for each other. So not that, but this is one thing that I would like to bring in, if this whole thing is to be redesigned, bring in more examples from like of Sarojini Naidu's, of Rani Lakshmibai's, they are there, but there are very few of them. There are very many unsung heroes than heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as we push for action, that's what the theme the UN has established this year. What's one financial or business lesson that you think every woman should know early in their career?
Is this to do with business only?
Yes, business or finance, because I understand that's where your expertise is.
Well, I would say you have to understand your subject.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. and then take decisions based on the subject, understand the pros and cons of it, and take responsibility for the actions.
Absolutely, and I think I could relate to the finances aspect, and that's a very honest confession that I'm going to make here. I still don't fill my ITR. It's my father that does it. So that's something that even I would personally would want to learn from you. Like, you know, we take men as the people who would, you know, take those financial decisions for us, teach us investments and do all of that. What's something that I can take away from you being here today that I need to learn? And for all the young women who are here, what do you suggest we should do?
There are a couple of financial literacy programs happening. But one thing what you have said is very true. Though all of us earn, I think we all give the money to the men. So men and money go along because the decisions are taken by them. I wouldn't confront that, but I would say that I think you should be able to handle your money as well. And for that, you need to have knowledge. So for that, you have to understand. So I would suggest that most of you attend the financial literacy programs, as simple as filing your ITR. At least you will understand the ITR saying, you know, from what sources you've got your income. At least that you'll know, right? That because you'll know your pay slip or whatever revenue that you have earned. And in that, you should do some kind of tax planning. And the tax planning should not be done on the day when you're doing your ITR. You should do it a bit ahead. So those are things that you need to know. Then you can keep a calendar. Maybe you make a mistake the first time or the second time, but the third time, you will be much more confident.
We'll eventually learn.
Yeah, so that is what I would suggest. You know, first you understand your subject, not just, I mean, at the same time, I think women, don't take me wrong, but I think we are spendthrifts. The moment we get into shopping, we forget how much money we have because the credit cards are facilitating all these things. So that is where I would suggest that all of you please be judicious, because it is nice because it's all about instant gratification. But the moment we are home, we realize that why did we buy this heap of clothes or heap of footwear or purses? So I think that's kind of financial discipline everybody personally should have. And I think most of the financial literacy programs talks about it, you know, what you can spend thriftily, what you can spend for long term, what you can spend for your health, what you can spend for your long term retirement planning and all that. So those are things that we have to actually get used to it. Though all of us are earning well, and of course all of us are educated, we are not implementing it. If that comes in place, I think we will be good decision makers, even in the stock market as well, let me tell you, even in the stock market, because we're good at multitasking. So I'm pretty sure all of us can go through the stocks that are short-term, long-term, put, call options and all that will be really good. But first have an understanding of that. That is my suggestion to everybody.
Dr. Mantri, you really need to do something for us. We need some workshops to make us.
No, it is essential. Not specific to college, but
Yeah.
I would say
I
to
come
every
from
woman,
engineering background, but we were never taught this. So absolutely, like you mentioned, there's so many things that you learn on the job while doing it, but this was never the job. This was something that was imposed. So lighter moments aside, as we draw towards the end, and what's one suggestion that you leave today with not only women here, but we have so many men, young boys in this room here. What do you ask them to do immediately? What's something that they can act on to make that progress, to accelerate that action?
I think one thing is you should respect each other. There should not be any men, women or anything. It's a person. You should respect the other person. Then you can recognize and allow them to grow, move on also. And give them the freedom. Don't try to, especially in the families, what we see is still the society thing is men is dominating. No? That equal share is still to come. So give them the freedom. Let them also express themselves. Don't try to curb them and suppress them. That is what I feel.
Dr. Mantri.
I have the same message. Respect for each other is very important. Irrespective of the gender that you are in, that you are born with. Respect is paramount for any society to progress, whether it is to leadership roles or to team roles or to even living together. So respect each other, respect the environment, respect the animals around you. That's what is very important.
Beautiful.
I would give two themes here. Of course, I relate to you both as well, but at the same time, I would say we have to empathize. The moment we empathize with everybody surrounding us, I think our perspective changes. And the approach to a problem also to that particular individual also changes. So it is not the hierarchy that has to define you. It is, your nature of being empathizing should signify what you are. And at the same time, I would say, when you take any task, please don't give it up.
Absolutely, absolutely. As we come to the end of this powerful conversation, one thing is clear. Change is not just a concept, it's a commitment, a responsibility, and a call to action. Today we've heard from these three remarkable leaders who are not only breaking barriers but also building pathways for those who come after them. Their insights, experiences, and unwavering determination remind us that leadership is not about waiting for the right moment, it is about creating it. And as we leave this room, the real question is, what will we do next? And I leave all of you with this thought that once you go back home, just sit with yourself, introspect, how can we contribute wherever you are, at whatever age in your life, at whatever point in your education or career. It's always this grit that you should be with, like what can we do more and what do we need to do next. Thank you so much to our incredible panelists for sharing this wisdom, and to all of you for being the part of this journey. Let's go forward and create an impact. Thank you so much.
Before we continue, I have an announcement, especially for students, about the buses. They will not be leaving until this event ends.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed panelists and moderator for their inspiring insights and valuable contributions.
Your presence and wisdom have truly elevated this occasion, leaving us all enriched and empowered.
Now, as we move forward, it is time to recognize and honor excellence.
Let us begin the prize distribution ceremony of the competitions such as logo design, art and poster making, letter writing, balloon trivia, and word hopscotch, hosted by Women Welfare Committee at Anurag University, which was held on the 5th of March.
Now, we request our Vice Chancellor Ma'am to give the prizes to the winners for the competition called Art of Expression. The winners are Sai Lasya. Can I have Sai Lasya here, please? Yes, I'm Sai Lasya, Fatima Mehraj, and Juwaria. We also request our guest panelists, Srimati Sheena Rani, to give away the prizes to the runner-ups. Bhavishya, Kirtana, and Kavya and Darshini from CSCJ. The runner-ups are, for the event of Art of Expression, Bhavishya, Kirtana, Kavya, and Darshini of CSCJ first year.
Now, we request Ms. Saritha, ma'am, the guest panelists, to give away the prizes for the winners of the letter writing competition. The winners are K. Sai Lasya from the Department of Pharmacy. We would also like to congratulate the runner-up, Nihal from CSE Department. Thank you, ma'am.
Now, I invite our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Archana Mantri, onto the dais to gracefully commence the felicitation of our esteemed panel members. I also invite Deans Dr. Vasudha Ma'am, Dean of School of Pharmacy, Dr. Lakshmi Prasanna, Dean NIMS, and the Women Welfare Committee Coordinator, Dr. Sirisha Ma'am, to join us on the stage. Before we come to the end of the event, we feel very excited to share a great news with our female faculty and staff members that our own Nilima Hospitals is organizing a free health checkup camp from 8th to the 14th of March.
We request you all to take some time off and join at Nilima Hospital.
Now, I hand over the mic to Sahil to give the vote of thanks.
Greetings to one and all. As we conclude today's panel discussion, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who made this event a success. A sincere thank you to our moderator and our distinguished panelists for sharing their valuable insights. Their words truly enriched us. A special thanks to our faculty coordinator of this event, Dr. Sirisha, the convener, and Dr. Swapna and Dr. Saritha, the co-convener for the Women Welfare Committee. Your support and guidance help us make this session very successful. I also appreciate our wonderful audience. Your engagement and enthusiasm made this discussion even more meaningful. Lastly, a big shout out to our organizing team and support staff for their hard work behind the scenes. With that, I, Sahil, along with my team, Shalini, Moksha, and Mokshita, would like to take your leave. Wishing you all a wonderful evening. Thank you.